We're now going to bring up some girls that are going to talk to us about social media and building our business through social media. So I'm going to introduce these girls one at a time, and they can come up. Miss Mandi Bartz is an RVP. Mandi has her BA in criminal justice and psychology. She graduated a semester early to save money, but ended up having a change in heart and her career choice. So after school, she job hopped, just trying to pay the bills. She always thought you worked a job that you probably hated to pay the bills because what you loved would just keep you broke. Then Arvon came into her life through the 30-day program. She started her business at the same time as she did the nutrition. She started the business the same time as she did the nutrition and went RVP in just under 4 years, and during that time earned her first AIT trip. Because of Arvon, she's now happily retired from corporate that laid her off and is able to work her Arvon business part-time alongside teaching fitness classes. And then we have Miss Christy here, who is an ERVP. Christy is a San Diego local, a wife and mama to 2 little girls, Quinn, who's 5, and Kendall, who's 5 months. Before her Arvon career, Before Arvon, her career started as a professional entertainer and pro dance cheerleader. Woo! She moved into real estate and then finally ended in corporate as a vice president for an international audio company here in Carlsbad. So Christy lost her job and Arvon came into her life, and she has since rocked her business. She's earned 7 Arvon trips. She has been 9th in the world in 2014 Parade of Champions at GTC. She was a top 25 ACE award winner in 2018. And her biggest tip is to prepare for impact. Many of you have heard Christy's story, but always remember your why and never quit. All right. And then last but not least, Miss Audrey Welch over here, RVP. We all know Audrey's had an interest in health and wellness always, and her skin looks amazing because she has a background as an esthetician. She worked at a high-end spa in Del Mar before she started Arvon. When her and her husband, John, who I'm sure you know her mother-in-law is Sandra Tillinghast, who is in Oklahoma at the Lifer Retreat, and John is her son. So when she had her babies, she shifted her focus to her family. And when Arvon came into her life, she loved the flexible schedule, the ability to leverage her time, and the full-time income. So she actually earned her Mercedes within the first year of starting her business. And I just am so excited to hear from the 3 of these ladies because they all do social media in their own personal way and branding themselves. So it'll be fun to hear from these ladies. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Mandi or Christy.
Hi, everybody. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm a little bit freaked out by Eunice's talk. Is anybody else a little bit like, holy cow, we need to like immediately get on the phone and talk to everyone? Does everyone feel like that? Oh my goodness. So obviously you guys we heard about technology, we heard about changes. So many things are going to be changing. I know, raise your hand if you use social media right now. Good. Okay. For those of you who don't, it's okay. We will go over a tad bit of like the basics, but we're going to give you some tips and tricks today that you can use starting today that are going to help grow your business bigger. So a couple little statistics really fast. On Facebook, every 60 seconds, 510,000 comments are commented, 290,000 statuses are updated, and 136,000 photos are uploaded every 60 seconds. That's a lot. That's a lot. I just think about that picture of the car where everyone had the carriages and thinking about the car and like thinking about how quickly this is moving with social media. 5 new profiles are created on Facebook every second. Every second. So while I'm talking, there's already been like 20. Okay. Instagram. There is actually 95 million photos posted per day on Instagram. So you guys, there's so much potential with social media, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the do's and don'ts, what to do, how to brand yourself, how to be likable, how to grab engagement, and the different topics between using social media as a tool and using social media as a concept. So with that, Miss Mandi is going to be starting us off, and Miss Natasha, you can go ahead and throw the slides up.
I'm like all in the chords, so I'm like, okay.
Ooh, right?
Awesome. All right, guys. So, see, I'm already gonna have chords.
Last night.
Yeah.
Get our selfie.
So, of course, take a selfie. I feel like it's not. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I got a really I'm used to the mic being attached and screaming at you guys, so holding it is going to be interesting. You can actually hop to the next one, because what I really want to talk with you guys a little bit about is being authentic and organic like this. And so why is social media important? So just a real quick story, guys. My best friend in the whole wide world just got married, didn't have Facebook, decided she wanted to start an Arbonne business. I've been doing Arbonne for 4 years. She's never bought product, but she was so inspired when I came back for her wedding that she signed up and got Facebook. And she has so many hesitations and reasons she hates it, but she can see the potential because I was able to share with her that that's how you can attract people. How many of you guys are attracted to someone on Facebook, friend-wise? Okay, right? There's something that they did that drew you or drawn to them. That goes both ways. You can draw people to you through Facebook, and it can be globally. So I got into Arbonne because I wanted to travel, but that doesn't always work out exactly as quickly as maybe we want or as often as we want. So having a social media platform allows you to act like you're traveling through the internet, right? And so you get to see, as you're attracted to people, they're attracted to you. Are they a good fit for Arbonne? Are they? Think of Arbonne as everyone should do this business. We already know that, right? But are they a good fit? Yes and no, right? So be open about who you share Arbonne with, but also be realizing that you get to pick who you want to work with and have fun with it. So that's like the biggest thing I can have you guys take away with this. Having social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, right? There's so many platforms. Build relationships. How can you connect with people? Are you just floating around in social media land? Are you actually making connections with people? Have conversations online, offline, whatever it is. And again, that's where it comes to having fun with your business. And it's just a tool. If you do all of your business on social media, it might not happen how you want it to happen. It is just a tool that we use. But again, guys, it's not just floating around there. It's actually posting content that's important to other people, to your viewers, and having interactions. Like, I cannot stress that enough. And I know Audrey's going to talk a little bit about that. So one thing that I do want to share with you guys really quick is we're in a really busy world. And so take the time to not, we get fearful of like we have one shot when we meet someone, whether it's at the airport, grocery store, whatever it is. Make a connection with them. Interact on social media. So connect. So we're kind of in this day and age where I would feel weird if I didn't know Christy and she's like, hey, can I have your number? I'd be like, I don't know. Are you weird? But if she was like, hey, we're on Facebook or Instagram, I'd be like, oh my gosh, totally. Let's connect. Because I get to know, I get to stalk her. Yeah. I get to find out, do I like Christy? Is she a weirdo or is she cool? So use that with ways to kind of interact with people. Okay. So I'm going to actually hop over to the next slide. And I'm going to hand it back to Christy.
Sounds good. Okay, so we're going to talk about techniques and concepts. So really quick, and the balance between, because you want to be balanced. So like Mandi said, you can't be using social media as your only way that you're doing your Arbonne business, which we all understand. So we're going to talk about a technique for a second. Social media is a technique. Back in the day when Eunice first started Arbonne, do you think that she might have maybe put a newspaper ad out to attract people for Arbonne? She probably did. What about in a catalog? What about in a phone book? Do you guys remember phone books? Okay, so phone books used to have advertisement, correct? We didn't have social media back then, so that was a technique. Do you think that if somebody put an ad into a phone book, that perfect, wipe their hands, I got a great Arbonne business, and then they move on? Do you think that that was the case? No. What are they doing outside of that technique? They're talking to people, they're meeting people, they're getting in front of people, they're moving into the concept part, which I'll talk about in a second. So social media is a technique. We're not using phone books, we're not using newspapers, we're now using our computer, our phone, and getting in front of people. And like Mandi said, I want to see what you're about. I want to see what matters to you. I want to see how you interact with the world, how you interact with each other before I want to do business with you, right? So the technique. So with this particular technique with social media, you want to give a preview of the products, preview of the business, and we're going to talk about that more, but really you're making an impression. So what does your social media page on Facebook and your page on Instagram, what impression does that make if someone was just going to go take a quick look? Okay. Social media is also adding people to your funnel. Exactly what Mandy's saying. That is a way to kind of keep track and make people become a part of your database. All right. It's like your online digital tracking system. And I love it. And there's ways you can actually search out different things. You can search where people live. You can search where they were born. You can search like all kinds of crazy stuff. It's really cool. Okay, 2.2 billion monthly active Facebook users as of second quarter in 2018 were, we were told, are on Facebook. So think about that. 2.23 billion people are on Facebook. That's a lot of people. How many people do you think a newspaper ad could get in front of back in the day with that old technique? Maybe like, I don't know, 100. Yeah, she's like 1,000. That's giving it a lot, I think. But okay, so, and there's 77.6 million active Instagram users alone in the United States. So this is all projected to surpass 111 million in 2019. So we're going to grow 30 million. So it's going to grow almost 30-40% in the next year, 1 year. Okay. So obviously, you guys, this is a huge technique. This is a way that we can filter people into our business and use those relationships through social media to get what we need to get, which is to the concepts. So also, when you guys post something on social media, I just want to let you guys know that the average engagement rate is just about 2%. So a lot of people post something on Facebook and they're like, oh my gosh, I have a 30-day challenge coming up. How many people post 30-day challenge information? Yeah, I do. Okay. So I posted up there and I'm like, yeah, let's see who I can get. Right? It's kind of like fishing. You get like one like. You get like one like. Yeah. You're like, dang it. I posted at the wrong time on the wrong day. That's what happens, Yeah. Nobody saw it. I need to post it again. Okay. So thank you. So here's the thing, you guys. 2%. So is it a way to put it up there so people can see it? Yes. Is it the only way that we are going to interact and create a business? No. Okay. So this is obviously a low number because Facebook has an algorithm. Facebook decides what posts of your friends and your posts of theirs you see, whatever. So the average number of friends that actually see your posts is about 16%. That's it. That's it. So if next time you post something and you get really frustrated and you're like, nobody liked my post. It probably does have something to do with it being maybe the wrong day, the wrong time. But honestly, it's because not everybody's seeing it. Use it and put your stuff up there so it's an active brochure. So when people go in and they say, hi, Mandi, yes, you can have my Instagram, she can go stalk me and go look at my page, and then she can go look at my Instagram and she can see what matters to me. You cannot get caught up with how many people liked whatever post and what they did or didn't do at that moment in time. We all good? Okay. All right. So you have to understand the rules and you have to bring those people into that relationship, which Audrey will talk about. So the concept is the action. That is the sharing the products in person, on the phone, on Zoom, whatever it may be. That is sharing the business. That is being belly to belly. Remember, Eunice talked about emotional, what did she say? Intelligence. Thank you. Emotional intelligence. So you have to embrace humanity. You can't just be throwing stuff up there like the computer, like a robot. A robot could do that all day long, right? But what do? We have to connect with people, make them feel, make them want to be a part of us. And you need to find out why people are doing the business, and they need to know why you're doing the business. You want to create brand loyal people who won't want to move away from Arbonne because they love what we stand for, because they're emotionally charged by being healthy inside out, and they care about what you stand for too. So all of this, you guys, that in-person stuff and that Zoom stuff and FaceTime and phone calls, that has to happen. It can't just be all social media. Remember, that's just the technique, and the concept is the events, the one-on-ones, the drop kits, and coaching people through the nutrition program. We all good? Cool. All right, so next slide, please. Okay, which platform is best? I'm not going to talk about this a lot. It's wherever your network is. Mm-hmm. So if you feel like you are a Gen Z and Instagram is more your thing, Instagram's more your thing. If you feel like Facebook is scary as all heck because you're a little bit of an older crowd, embrace it, but don't worry about it, you guys. Like, do your best. You can't be perfect at everything. Do your best. Go for it and still talk to people and get in front of people. Facebook for me, it's my contact list. It's what I use for my nutrition groups. It is our team page. Instagram is actually for me a little bit wider. I can go and meet a lot of people I don't know through hashtags. We'll talk about that a little later. But remember, it's all about you. So be you. Don't be afraid to use the tools just because you don't know how. Jump in and practice, fail forward, and try them out. Be authentic and share your passions, which we're going to talk about that right now.
We're gonna go back and forth a lot. We like to change it up. You can go ahead and go to the next slide for me. Awesome. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the do's and don'ts. I'm actually not going to get too hung up on the don'ts because what I want you guys to realize is it's okay to make mistakes on social media because they're not mistakes. It's just like Arbonne, you don't make mistakes, you fall forward. People want to see your journey. They want to see your growth. If you all of a sudden start posting on Facebook or Instagram, whatever the platform is, about Arbonne and it's perfect, do you think anyone's going to join your team? Right? That was really hard and it's really hard for me to handle. So I want to share that with you guys because 82 to 90% of your social media is about you living your life. And obviously we all love Arbonne. Raise your hand if you have your Arbonne water bottle with you or some type of Arbonne swag, right? We all love it. We know it. But what I want you guys to realize is there's easy ways for you to live your life that don't always have to show or scream Arbonne. It can be subtle hints. Think about your social media platform as a preview to the movie. Create intrigue. You want people to ask you questions. If you're posting something and you have all the information up there and everything, what are people going to do? They're going to decide, I have all the information. I don't need to reach out. It's not for me. I'm good. Right? So 10 to 20% of what you post should be sprinkled in Arbonne. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what that looks like in just a second, but just think about that. How many times are you living your life, but you're also doing, you're still like, you can't help it. You put like the Arbonne part on it or like the wanting to drip. Just let the picture speak for itself. There's going to be things about the retreat this weekend that you don't have to necessarily scream Arbonne. If people know you and you've been sort of posting a little bit throughout your journey, they're going to know who your tribe is. You don't have to be like, this is my Arbonne tribe. Just be like, this is my tribe because we're more than just the business, right? So we don't want to sell. We don't want to be spammy. We all know that. So it can just be little subtle things. When you are posting about the 30-day, it can be something like, how often do you post? Join me or message me or DM me. That's getting to the point now because social media is so advanced with people in our industry that becomes spammy. It's okay to do it once in a while, but maybe not every single time you post, especially if you're posting about the lifestyle. Don't ask people to reach out. Create FOMO, fear of missing out. Make them ask you, what are you doing? Most of the clients that I have, and again, guys, I've been doing this business for 4 years and been active on social media. I was not a Facebook person before social media, and I thought Instagram was for cute filters that you save the photo and you posted it to Facebook.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
So if any of you do follow us on social media, guys, I had no idea what social media was for before Arbonne, and I just kind of wanted to jump in, right? So just think about those little tweaks on stuff. Let people reach out. They know how to find you. They know how Facebook and Instagram works, right? Okay. Do share what you love by how it makes you feel. I love that Christy talked about that emotional connection and how you use it in your life. So it can be something, I'm going to use my notes now. It's going to be something as simple as, and again, it's not necessarily don't post, do what's working for you. If it's working for you, do it. But you will see throughout your career with Arbonne that things will start to work and maybe they won't because your media, people who are watching kind of get used to it, right? So an example, I love Arbonne shakes. They're amazing. They're the best, right? I've done it. That's probably exactly what I've said, right? Now what I like to do or what I encourage people to do is I love my vegan protein shakes because I've learned plant-based is easier for me to digest than whey. I've noticed a change in my skin and the bloat in my tummy. If you're not in Arbonne or if you know I do Arbonne, now instead of being like, oh, another Arbonne post, I'm like, okay, wait, what is that? Because she said something about bloat in the tummy and I have that. Okay, well, I'm listening now, right? So think about little tweaks like that. Be relatable. Pique that interest. So thinking about it, as you're posting a post, if you write something up, you're like, okay, is that necessary in that post, right? Let's see. I kind of went backwards in some of the stuff. And you don't have one shot. You don't have one opportunity. We're not Marshall Mathers. We're not Eminem. Okay. You have lots and lots of opportunities. That's my one theme of humor. You have so many opportunities on social media. Christy shared with you how many, what was it, 16%?
16% of your friends actually see your photo.
Actually see it. Do you know how many times it's good to drip? So if you're dripping and you're showing the preview instead of the whole story every single time, you're dripping here and there. You have so many opportunities as long as you're consistent with your business. Make sure that you're sharing your struggles with triumph. So maybe I don't want to be like negative Nancy's on going through all this, but when you overcome something, be vulnerable and share how you overcame it, because maybe it'll help someone. We all know how much bigger this business is than just protein shakes and mascara, right? So we're going to go ahead and go to the next slide really quick. This is why I don't use notes, because I always go out of order. So these are just some really awesome dudes. If yours is up here, awesome. I just like clicked through, so I can't even tell you who's on here. They'll go like kind of fast, but on its own.
Did it once, Natasha.
She's like, it's coming. That's okay. It's good. It's fine. So you can see here like some examples that are posted up. Again, if this is yours and I didn't give you credit, you can yell at me later, but I just snapped it on my phone and sent it to Christy. But you can see that it's really subtle. This person's posting about them going to the gym and working out, and they have their Arbonne stuff there, but they never really talk about it, right? I love this Tara Landy's with her little baby girl. That would be like your Arbonne plug, right? That's your Arbonne plug. And all of these obviously have Arbonne sprinkled in. You can go ahead and go to the next one. Oh, it won't let you. Just kidding. Well, you get the gist. It's awesome. But the point being, guys, right? Show pictures of your life, show pictures of things you love to do, and every once in a while, sprinkle in testimonials about the 30-day or about the skincare. Like, that is so huge, again, to create that emotional connection versus just join the 30-day, right? So let the pictures speak the words, and then you can just have a few things here and there with that. Go ahead and go to the next one, because now I can't remember. Okay. So with passions and pillars, guys, what are you passionate about outside of Arbonne? Who knows? Raise your hand if you have some passion outside of Arbonne that does not have to do with health, wellness, fitness, or makeup. Yay! This is awesome. I didn't, because that was why I loved Arbonne. That's what I love to do. So I had to find out and discover what are my passions outside of that, because it started to be boring that all I was posting was working out. Because when people are like, oh, it's all you do, drink shakes all day and work out. I'm like, yeah, and I love it. And they were like, well, I don't. And I'm like, shoot, now I don't know how to connect with you. But there's other things we had in common, right? So what are those other things that you have in common? And are you sharing it on Facebook? And is it real to you? I went through a phase where I was like, well, in Arbonne, we like cook recipes and everyone's so, I'm going to learn how to cook. Guys, I do not cook. Thank God for my boyfriend. I do not. And Arbonne protein shakes. But I tried to force myself into what I thought was going to be a good fit for my business instead of being true to me. And it was uncomfortable. And my business did not succeed or thrive from it. So be you, find out what your passions are. And if you don't know, have fun and go discover them. That's probably the best part that I've discovered about building this business. I could not stress enough, be authentic to your true self. Who cares? There's so many things I don't have in common with these ladies or all of you amazing people in the room, but that's okay. And that's easy to say, but keep telling yourself that. Keep it simple. One thing I do want to share with you guys is there's such free training to follow other people in our industry, not just Arbonne, who are doing it right. So however you're attracted to, learn from them. Really try to duplicate their post if it makes sense to you in your own way. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Be inspired by it. But if it's clouding your mindset because you're not working on your mind, and that's a whole different thing, reach out to Shannon about that or Holly, then don't follow them. There'll be a time where it becomes a training, and there will be a time where it maybe starts to mess with your head. You have to decide where you're at in your business and on your own personal growth. So that's all I have for that. You can go to the next slide though. Yay. I always have to cheat at that. It's right there.
Oh, yeah. I bet you guys were wondering if I was actually going to say anything up here. I'm like, I swear my slide's next. It's coming. It's coming.
We're leading up to it. So this was a really big learning curve for me too, you guys. I, like the other girls up here, social media started with Arbonne. I didn't have any knowledge of it beforehand or anything. So just learning as we go along, right?
And after hearing Eunice's talk, you guys, times are changing. We have got to keep up with that. And right when we started, Christy said, raise your hand if you're using social media. And it broke my heart that not everybody raised their hands. You guys, we have to embrace this. Not only is everyone on their phone, but if you need to connect with people, where are they? They're on their phone. That's how you can connect, right? With being pulled in so many directions nowadays, that's one place where you know for sure you're going to be able to capture an audience, even if it's only 16%, which I did not know. I'm like, what the heck? No wonder we got like 3 likes. So social media is like the first date. And I love this analogy because if you think about it, you would not marry the guy that you saw on Tinder, the app, right? That you swiped and you met at a bar, right? You're not gonna be like, oh my gosh, let's go get married. Same thing with starting a business, you guys. They're not going to sign up usually from seeing a post, right? So that's the start of the relationship, but you have to keep dating them. You have to keep that going. Follow-up is key, you guys, because that's where the sign-up happens. That's where the relationship starts, and that's where you can take the relationship offline and really start to build with that person, get to know with them, or get to know from them. What are their wants? What are their needs? What are their desires? What can Arbonne fill for them? Because it's not one answer for everybody. We know that. Look at this room. Look at these people around you. We all look differently. We all live in different areas. We all have different families. What we want is different, right? So getting to know that person. They might see that post and be intrigued, like Christy said, if you don't give away all the information. Then they can message you. I have a funny story though. This is one of my husband's best clients. We love him. We see their family all the time. He's the head coach, rowing coach at UCSD. And he's amazing. And he had mentioned to me, I see those Arbonne posts, like really want to get some of that nutrition. I'm like, oh my gosh, you see them? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, cause you just never like did the heart thing. I don't know if you see them, I don't know if you're online. And he's like, no, yeah, I see it all the time. Like I just forget to click the heart or whatever. I'm like, okay, great. So that was like 1 week. And then, so I messaged him, right? Messaged him. I saw that he saw the message, even it says seen underneath. Like, hey, Zach, just wanted to get in touch with you. I know you want some nutrition, right? Do you guys ever have those people that see the message and don't respond? They're like, was it like the middle of the night? I don't know, right? Sent him a second message. Meanwhile, he was working out with John 3 days a week. I'm like, John, put in a good word. Some samples, right? You guys, 2 months went by. I finally saw Zach at the gym. I cornered him. I'm like, hey, I know you see my messages. I know you don't like the posts that I make, but I really want to get you on the nutrition because I really think I can help all the guys on your rowing team. He ordered the kit and he got all the guys on the nutrition. So be consistent, right? Follow up. It's so key. If I would have let that first little scene thing like shrink my courage or be like, oh my gosh, he saw it and he didn't like, no, I'm going to avoid him. It's even more awkward, you guys. If you know that they've seen it, confront it, right? It's even more awkward when you like don't say anything. You're like, oh, I'm just going to pretend I never sent that message. Like, that just like left my brain. When you see them, be like, hey, be like, I know sometimes technology is weird. Like, did you see that message? Right there. They're going to look you in the eye. They're going to look you in the eye and be like, yeah, I saw it. Great. Start that conversation. Start that follow-up process. Love to know what you think. We'd love to get you on board with our next detox group. We'd love to take you out for coffee, whatever it is, right? But really be upfront with what you want because we are our own advocate. We are our CEO, and your social media engagement is so key for making that intimate, not just public profile. This is what I'm posting, la, la, la. Okay. So, sorry, go back. Gotta catch my breath real quick. Okay. So being vulnerable is super attractive to women, especially. It's a part of, I think, like our emotional state that we've lost a little bit from being so techy and so online. And so when you do have something that you've overcome, like Mandi was saying, or something that has really touched the core of you, share it because you're going to relate to someone out there. And this is more than just selling product like we talked about. This is engaging with people, and really figuring out what rocks them to the core. And that's different. So anything that you can share personally is going to open that door for someone else to share personally with you, right? It builds that rapport. It builds that trust. It builds that like, oh my gosh, she's just like me, or I went through that same thing. And we all want to be heard. Like innately, we all want that, right? We all want to be noticed and heard and felt. And that's something that you can still do online, believe it or not. but take that next step and send those messages, get in touch with people, see if they want to meet for a coffee, whatever it is, if they're local, like you should have a very diligent plan of strategic plan of who you want to get together with every week. And some of those names will come offline. Some of those will come from in person. You can stalk first and then meet up, right? To know a little bit more about them. And then the hashtag thing, you guys. This was a big, who hashtags? Okay, like half the room, or maybe 3/4 of the room. That's good. This was a big learning curve for me. So I listened to a training recently, and the gal training said basically Instagram gives you 50 lottery tickets for every post you make. And so I'm like, ooh, what does that mean? So 30 of them are hashtags that you can use.